This video is all about timing. When's the best time to apply to law school, and is now too late? So today's video is all about timing. For those of you who are new, my name is Sydney Montgomery. I'm the owner and founder of Montgomery Admissions Consulting, where I provide personalized college counseling and law school admissions consulting. Growing up in a military and Jamaican household, education was really important to my family. And as the first lawyer in my family and a graduate of Princeton and Harvard Law School, I have dedicated my life to helping students break down generational barriers and step confidently into their future. So today, I want to talk to you about timing. When is the best time to apply to law school, and is now too late? In this video, I will break down the 3 different stages of timing. What is considered early, what is considered on time, and what is really starting to push it and be a little bit too late to maximize your chances for acceptances and for scholarship. So, what is early? What's the best time to apply to law school? Well, when they open. Law school applications open in September. And here is why it is so crucial to be among those first people who apply to law school. Law schools are on a rolling application cycle. What that means, it's actually easier to get into school in September than it is in February. I always tell students, you can be the same exact applicant, same essays, same LSAT score, same GPA. If you apply in September, you might get in with scholarship money. If you apply in February, you might get denied. And yes, it can be that drastic of a difference. Again, they're filling their class as they go. It's a rolling application cycle. So especially if you're someone who has LSAT scores or GPA a little bit below the median, you want to make sure that you're applying in September when they have plenty of spaces. That's when they can be the most lenient in terms of giving offers. Not that they're just giving away offers or anything like that, or not that they necessarily lower their standard. I'm not trying to imply any of that. What I'm trying to say, however, is that they are able to make a little bit more holistic of a decision earlier. And this is not true for all schools, but for some schools. However, once they've really started to solidify their class at a certain point, they only want to take applicants that are going to raise their median GPA and LSAT. So if you're applying to a school and you're below their median GPA and LSAT in February and March, you're not helping them any. You're not an asset to the school as much as you might have been in September, when they're really saying, it's okay, we can take a couple lower students because we will make up for it later down the line. Now, some schools also give scholarship money out on a rolling basis, so they're literally giving away their money as time goes, and they don't have as much money. Again, this is not true for every school, but there are some schools for whom this is the case. Wouldn't you rather get the best chance at law school? Oftentimes, I will talk to students who are thinking about applying later in the cycle, and they're like, but I don't want to wait another year. I don't want to apply in September. I want to start school in September. And for them, I say, your law school career is forever. Your legal degree is forever. Your alma mater is forever. This is the cohort and the alumni base you're going to have forever. Isn't that worth waiting for? When you know that your outcomes would be dramatically different if you just waited and applied in September at the beginning of the cycle. When you can foster those relationships with the admissions professionals throughout the summer. When you can make sure that you show that you're a prepared candidate who has all of their things together. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Often I also hear students say, well, I'll apply now, and if I don't get in, I'll just reapply in September. One, you do need to write or amend your application essays. You shouldn't just submit the same exact essay. That's showing them that you're a little lazy, that you're just going to submit the same exact thing. And 2, again, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Be the strongest candidate that you can be in September. Come out the gate strong and get an early acceptance offer, because that's the thing. When you apply in September and October, you will hear back in October or November or December. I applied to all of my schools by Halloween, and I had heard back from all but 2 of my schools before Christmas. That meant that I could go into the holidays relaxed, knowing that I was going to law school, knowing that I had offers that I loved, knowing that I had scholarship money. The other thing is when you get acceptance letters earlier, you're able to have longer and more detailed conversations with financial aid. You're able to take your time. You're able to apply to outside scholarships. You're able to have a much more relaxed and enjoyable process, a smooth process, a process that is worth the magnitude of what you're about to embark on. Law school can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's a huge investment in yourself. It's a huge investment in your career and your future, and you should do it right. You should absolutely have everything in line in the fall to submit. Now, I told you I would break down between early, on time, and late. So what happens if you don't apply in September or October or even November? That's okay. For many law schools, the time period between December and February is what they would call on time. Now, this isn't true for every law school. I also want to say that while most law schools are rolling, there are some schools, like Yale, and to some degree Harvard, that have specific reading periods. So Yale does wait, and at a certain point, not December, February, March. But when you're talking about the difference between October and November for Yale, it doesn't really make a big difference because they have a reading process that's very special and very unique to them. However, for a lot of schools, December through February is perfectly normal. If you are applying to the most selective schools, you really want to apply by November. Applying to the most selective schools in December, January, February, it's not advisable. Unless you have a 175 and a 4.0, it's not giving yourself your best shot. Does that mean that if you apply in January, you're not getting in? No, I'm not saying that. Of course, there are always people who are going to be able to get in January or February to these selective schools. But is it likely? No. Being a lawyer is about risk management. And so I like to choose the path that has the least risk. I like to make sure that I'm giving myself my best shot. So if you're applying to the highly selective schools, you really want to make sure that you're getting your applications in by November. However, if you're applying to schools that are not so highly selective, that are outside the T30, maybe T25, then you can get away with applying between December and February, bearing in mind their deadlines, but you want to really make sure that your application is very strong. I still think that applying in September is always better than applying in February. There's almost never a reason why applying in September is not the best option than applying in February. But if you're not applying to selective schools and you have a pretty strong record and maybe you're above their medians, applying in January or February can be okay. As long as you can tell me that you have just as strong a shot, honestly, in January or February with your record as you would in September. I know for a lot of people, the reason why their applications get delayed is because of the Lsat exam. And so that's why I always stress students to take a diagnostic exam as soon as they know that they want to go to law school and start giving themselves at least a year to think about. Maybe not to fully study for a year, but to think about what is going to be my test prep plan. Am I going to get a tutor? Which course am I going to take? How much do I need to improve on this test? Because when you don't give yourself enough time, when you start studying for the LSAT in August or in September, you're immediately pushing your timeline back. You're immediately putting yourself in a stressful situation where you're trying to rush, and nothing good comes out of rushing. So I would say on time, not early and not quite late for some schools, would be in the December through February timeframe. If you are talking about applying to law school in March, April, May, I've heard people apply as late as June, I don't recommend it. Can you get in to law school if you apply in June? To somewhere. Somewhere you can, I'm sure. People have done it. Can you get in if you apply in March? Somewhere, some places. Yes. But why? Now, if you tell me you have a very compelling reason why, your top choice school, is fine with you applying in March. You know that you wouldn't get any more scholarship money if you had applied in September, which I don't know if you can really say that, but if you can tell me that the scholarship money is looking the same, you've had a conversation with the admissions dean or director, you know that your chances of getting in are still really high, there's a special program that you're going to be applying to that makes applying late in the game worth it, okay. But for the vast majority of people, applying in March, April, May, it's not giving yourself your best chance. You're shortchanging your destiny. You're shortchanging your future because you're now rushing a process that was never meant to be rushed. The types of schools that you're going to get into is going to be completely different caliber, and especially if you're a low test taker. If your LSAT is low, if your GPA is low, if you're a student who's had to overcome multiple academic barriers, you are not giving yourself your best chance. Too often, what happens to students in this stage is that they apply to law school in March or April and they don't get in, and then they think, well, I can't be a lawyer. Absolutely not. It's not that you can't be a lawyer, it's that you shouldn't apply to law school in March or April when you could have applied in September. Why do that? Why set yourself up for disappointment? And even if you get in, what's the scholarship money really looking like at that point? I don't recommend it. I really don't. People do it all the time. If you come to me and you have a very compelling reason, I would really love to talk to you about it and try to talk to you about why September might be a better option. But I won't stop you, and I will still help you if that's something that I think is appropriate. But I really think that for most people, applying in March or April is not the way to maximize your acceptances or to maximize your scholarship money. And we really need to be thinking about law school as a return on investment. So it doesn't make sense to get into law school in April, but have to pay full freight for a lower tier school. Now you're hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt for a school that has a median salary of $50,000. Yes, I understand that becoming a JD is worth it for some people, but the cost really does need to justify the end result here. And if you have a JD, but you can't get a job, or you're getting a job that's only $50,000, which is totally fine, but not if you have $200,000 of debt, then you're not making wise decisions. And lawyers are supposed to be good at making decisions. We're supposed to have great judgment, and we're supposed to mitigate risks in our life. So I'm asking you to take this as an opportunity to have your first legal case, your law school applications, and make a case for why you should be giving yourself your best chance. So to recap, early would be September, October, even November for most schools would be early. On time for most schools, but probably not the most selective schools, would be December, January, and February. Anything after February, I'm considering late. Honestly, for a lot of schools, February is late in the cycle. They may have already accepted and filled 75% of their class by now. You don't want to just be coming into the game at that point. Think about the scholarship money that's already been given out. That's why when I work with students, I really try to help them get their scholarships. I really try to help them get their applications in September. You'll see that most of my law school application boot camps will start now or in the spring, and they'll go till August or September. I do have some late start boot camps for October and November, but we are done and we are finished absolutely by December, because I don't believe in starting a boot camp cohort that won't end by December, because I want to set you up for the best possible option. I want you to go to the best school possible to maximize your academic potential with as little debt as possible. And so I can only give you the advice that I think that is going to set you up for your future, and that is to apply in the fall. Now, I am really excited because I have a complete free guide for you that will walk you through a lot of the steps of the application process, your essays, your letters of recommendation, your resume, your addenda. All the components of the law school application that you really need are in this essential guide to applying to law schools. It's a foundational primer on all of the parts of your law school application. But if you are watching this and you're saying, Sydney, I want to maximize my chances of going to law school. I want to maximize my scholarships. I don't want to do this on my own. I don't want to make mistakes. I don't want to waste time on Reddit and in the internet and end up applying late in the cycle because I couldn't figure something out. I want to do this right. I am inviting you to join me in one of my law school application boot camps. My boot camps are amazing cohorts of a small number of people, and I really guide you and walk you step by step on every part of the process. I walk you through brainstorming your essays and choosing your schools, your personal statement, your diversity statement, your resume, your addenda, your letters of recommendation. We talk about navigating waitlist offers and interviews and financial aid. I am with you every step of the way, and we're not just talking about it. I'm reviewing your essays. I see everything. I see every draft. I give you feedback on every draft. I help you in both the group sessions and also private sessions. And I have outside editing time built in. And if you have any questions, I'm always available in office hours. I want you to be the most successful lawyer that you can be. I believe in your future, and I believe in the impact that you're going to make on communities. So I encourage you and invite you to join me. You're not just joining me, but you're joining my family. Everyone who's in my boot camp gets access to my alumni network of past and current students. I have some students who at this point are past law school and are practicing attorneys, and I'd love to connect you with them so that you can get mentorship on this journey. My goal is not just to get you to law school, but to keep you in law school and to keep you thriving in your career as an attorney. I hope that this video was helpful. I hope that the breakdown of timing was helpful to you. If you have any questions at all, comment below. I would love to hear from you, and I can't wait to see where you're going to go on your law school journey. I'll talk to you soon.